What's up, guys? So, today we're gonna be doing some weird...
So, who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
Hey guys, today we're gonna be doing something a little bit weird. As you guys know, I am not technically a storytime YouTuber, but occasionally I have the hankering to tell you guys a few stories. Today is gonna be a montage of stories about the nighttime or sleeping. Sounds boring, I know, but these are gonna be funny or what the fuck moments, and I have a bunch of them written down in my phone, so that's why I'm holding my phone right now. It says random what the fuck sleep stories right here on my phone. The first one says, well, I'm not gonna tell you what they say because that's kind of like telling you the punchline of a joke. I'm just gonna tell you the story. Isn't it so appropriate though that I'm wearing one of my new onesies, telling sleepy time stories? Oh, this is so cozy. It's like we're girlfriends or boyfriends. What are we? I really need a definition to this relationship soon, guys. Exit light. Enter night. Tara has weird phenomenon. Sans light. I just fucked up that song. There was a time where Jay would like assault me in his sleep almost every night. If you guys don't know, we do sleep in the same bed because fucking cuddles, hell yeah. Also, I don't like sleeping alone. I would probably have some like random guy sleeping in bed with me just to sleep with me, even if I wasn't attracted to him, if I didn't have Jay. I just like sleeping with people, okay? That's why they call me a slut. But you know, not that kind of sleeping. I also like that kind of sleeping. So yeah, like there was this random time where I was just sleeping and I was actually half awake because I have this really terrible problem with fragile sleep. Like I'll wake up really easily and then it'll be hard for me to go back to bed. And Jay always says, don't look at the phone, don't pick up the phone. The brightness of the phone will make you completely awake. But for me, I keep thinking about things in my head or thinking about things I want to do when I wake up, that the only way I can put myself to rest is if I check my email or I check the comments on my YouTube video or whatever. So I think I was doing that. And Jay is clearly fast asleep. You can tell when Jay's not asleep because he breathes like less heavy. And he is a very, very, very heavy sleeper. Now, when I wake up Jay for any reason, if I'm really sweet and nice, like if I use a really sweet and nice voice, he's really sweet and nice back subconsciously. It's really weird. And I used to do this thing. Okay, this is gonna be another story. So this is another little story as I'm leading up to this one story where Jay assaults me in his sleep. So I used to do this thing where I have the memo thing. It's like a voice memo thing on the phone, and I would record me talking to him while he's falling asleep because I would go like, hey, what are you doing? And sometimes he would give me like the most random shit back. He would be like, squirrel surfing. And then I'm like, the squirrel surfing? Oh my God. And then he would be like, no, I don't like it. Or so, just like the most random fucking shit. Like clearly he's falling asleep and dreaming out loud at me. And it's like really cute shit, always with like really cute animals or something. It's adorable, right? So I used to do that. I manipulate Jay so much in his sleep because it's hilarious how heavily he sleeps. But if I'm nice to him, nice response. If I'm mad at him about something, even if it's warranted, it's a mean response and he doesn't wake up. So the first thing he did within these 2 months is he kicked me like really hard. Like he turned over and just like kicked me in the leg or in the side or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, why did you kick me? And he's like, I didn't. And he's just like so rude, but he's still sleeping. It's like, how can you be so rude and so passionate about how rude you are while you're sleeping? What is this? Oh my God. And then the second time was the worst time. Okay, so this was the time that I was actually kind of awake. He rolls over and he punches me in the face. And it felt like it was like kind of deliberate. Like it wasn't just like a, oh, I laid my fist on your hand kind of thing. It was like, boom, and it like actually hurt. It wasn't like his, I'm awake and I'm trying to fight someone for my life kind of punch, because that would probably knock me out. He is a big guy, but it was like a punch that hurt a lot, and it was like right near my eye. It was like right here, so like my eye hurt and everything hurt. Fortunately, I didn't get a black eye, but I was like, what the fuck? I said, what the fuck, like out loud, and he's like, what? And I'm like, you just punched me. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, yes, you did. And he's like, whatever. And just goes back to sleep. And then the next day I tell him, I'm like, dude, you fucking punched me in the face last night. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I woke you up and you were really mean about it. You acted like it was my fault or something. Like I deserved to be punched. Fucking wife beater, dude. I swear to God. Except he doesn't even have to lock me down with a contract in order to fucking punch me like he owns me, right? And he totally didn't even remember me waking him up and having the argument about him having punched me. It was so weird. Like we can talk about so many things in the middle of the night, and often he'll ask me like, did we talk about this or did I dream this? There's like no parallel for him between dreams and reality sometimes. It's really weird. And then after that, there was like 3 or 4 more times where he punched me not as hard or kicked me not as hard. And then after like 2 months, it just stopped. Very weird. It's like he was having a bunch of Fight Club or Streets of Rage or Street Fighter fucking dreams or something, and he didn't remember them. And he's like attacking me as if I'm some kind of fucking makeshift Chun-Li. My ass isn't that big. I'm sorry. Okay, so about my first surgery. Not plastic surgery, first surgery. When I was really little, like I was like 7 years old or something, I woke up one day and my thumb didn't work. It was just like this. Like literally like this. And there's actually like, you can see There's like 3 lines here. I don't have those 3 lines on this side, so that's actually where they like cut me open. It was on this finger. And apparently I had trigger thumb, and I had acquired trigger thumb overnight. And as far as I know, I haven't researched it too much, but trigger thumb is like something that happens to people who overwork their thumbs. Like people who work in factories or type too much and play video games. Yeah, like I played video games, but I was like 7. What? And it was very weird. I was like, fuck. I remember this feeling of dread. Like, fuck, I can't move my goddamn thumb. I walk out to my dad and I'm like, Dad, I can't move my thumb. And I'm not 100% sure about this because I was very young, but I recall very vividly them saying, yes, you can, or why, or something like that. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm 7 years old and I can't move my goddamn thumb. Like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, you guys, I knew I should have transferred all the old videos onto my computer before I started fucking filming today. I knew my fucking SD card was gonna fill, and it filled. So now I have to do like 1.5 fucking stories over again. Anyway, let me try to muster the excitement I had initially again. So anyway, to continue the thumb surgery, they rushed me to the emergency room. I don't know what they were thinking. They were thinking, oh my god, one of Tara's appendages, indexes on her appendage, is not working. She's not all fingers and all toes. What a terrible child. If we don't fix this, we'll have to euthanize her. So they rushed me there and thought it was a big deal, and then I went in for surgery, I think that day. And all I remember from it was waking up from the anesthesia and not hating it then nearly as much as I do now. For some reason, it just fucks me up to wake up from anesthesia. And I was all woozy, and my dad was making jokes. When is he fucking not making jokes to the doctor? And it wasn't that bad of an experience, and now all I have is these 3 little lines here, and my thumb works fine. Very fucking weird. You would assume that that surgery is really intricate, because of how small my hand was and how small the tendons there were. It must have been really hard to do. Thank you, doctor, for not fucking up the use of my hands. I need them for analog sticks. And titties. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so the next story. Before my mom got Panda and Snowy, they had a cat named Climber, rest in peace. And before that, they had a cat named Shadow, rest in peace. Now, Shadow protected me a lot when I was a baby. My mom would tell me stories about how anytime I cried or anytime I needed anything, Shadow would mew, and otherwise she was a really quiet, very docile cat. And she's always protected me. There was this one time where I was a toddler and I pulled this big-ass bookcase over onto myself. And I didn't even cry, so I wasn't getting my mom's attention. I don't know why I didn't cry. I was a pretty quiet kid, so that might be why. As quiet as babies and kids go, anyway. Ugh. And Shadow was the one that helped me out of that pickle. So she's always been a very, very good cat. But I had a bunk bed. Why did I have a bunk bed? Did I have siblings? Did I have a lot of sleepovers? No. I had a bright red metal bunk bed as a person afraid of heights who slept on the bottom and didn't care for the top, just to cover it in plushies. And I had a full mountain of plushies on the top bunk. It was really fun to play in, and I would try to go up there and like overcome my fear of heights, which didn't work too well. I'm still pretty afraid of heights. Very annoying of me. Really want to get over that psychological issue that I have. Makes no sense. I'm standing next to windows that are triple paned and will not come out under any circumstances. I look down and I get the fucking heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. It's not logical. But it has kept me from climbing ladders. But Shadow, this fat cat, who has always protected me. Now, my mom always feeds the cats pancakes. They're like mini pancakes for cats, but made from the same pancake batter that we eat our pancakes on Sunday morning with. So all of her cats have been pretty fat. Shadow was not an exception. I woke up one morning to immense pain on my face. I touch my face is bleeding. I look down at the floor and Shadow's looking at me like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. She was clearly remorseful for what she'd done. She was trying to climb my bunk for whatever reason, and her fucking fat ass fell off, and while she was falling, she scratched me across the face right next to my eye. And yeah, I had to go to elementary school like that for a few weeks, and it made me look like I was a beaten child. It really did. It was weird. My teachers were like, why do you have really deep scratches on your face? And I was like, my cat fell off my bunk bed while I was sleeping and used my face as the place to dig her claws so she wouldn't fall and hurt herself further. All right, the next story. We have like 2 more stories. Bear with me. Hopefully these are entertaining to you guys. If you want me to do more compilations, I have a lot of things that I think are story worthy, but they're not long enough to make into a full story. And I'm not really a story channel, as I said, so I don't know if you guys want to see this content. But if you do, like the video and post in the comments. I really want to hear from you. Please let me know. I tailor all of my content to what you guys want to see, as well as what I want to make. And if you want to see it, I'll do it, as long as I want to do it too. Consenting adults. Anyway, so this story is kind of weird. When I wake up from something scaring me, or when something happens and it scares me, I don't make sudden movements. I don't react right away. I kind of survey the information that I have. And I get a lot of terrors in the middle of the night, like me just being scared of the dark or me being scared that someone's gonna rob us. It's really ridiculous. And I've learned to kind of logic myself out of these fears or process them more rationally. But they've never once made me sit up in my bed or freak out or make any sudden movements. I usually just sit there and like move my head back and forth and like listen really hard and assess the situation, right? I don't just jump up. But one night randomly a few years ago, I was sleeping and I just jumped up out of my bed, like sitting up straight like this, just out of nowhere. And I'm like, why did I do that? And then I touch my face. My face is dripping blood out of my nose. I'm not someone who gets nosebleeds. In fact, I've always, my entire life, thought that people who got nosebleeds often were kind of weird. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I remember the first time I saw that in elementary school, I was like, oh my god, is he dying? Like, it wasn't like a normal thing to me at first. And I've gotten like 2 nosebleeds in my life before that, and it was me like picking my nose or something too hard. So I sit up in bed and I'm just like drenched in blood and I have no idea what happened. And I'm like, Jay! And I'm like trying to wake Jay up, right? And Jay's like, what? Because, you know, in this deep trance, whatever emotion I convey to him, he freaks out at me. Like, if there was an intruder in our house and I had to wake him up, I would have to put my hand over his mouth and be like, Jay, wake the fuck up, there's someone in our house, in order to stop him from being like, what's happening? And like freaking out, you know, like emulating what I'm feeling at the moment. So he's like extremely confused because he was in deep REM sleep, right? His fucking eyeballs were back and forth, and then he was like dreaming about some titties or something. And I fucking am drenched in blood and I can't imagine what he was thinking. But yeah, never found out why I was bleeding, had to clean myself up, got it all over my shirt, had to put like fucking things in my nose like I'm some kind of weirdo. Those guys that I thought were weird in elementary school who got a bunch of nosebleeds, I was one of those people, except for in the middle of the night and 10 times worse. It was very weird. I have no idea what happened. It's like I probably just went like boom and like pushed my fucking fingers into my nose and like twisted it around and like pulled out all of my fucking nose skin and then sat up in my bed because I don't know why I did that. I don't know what the fuck happened there. It was really fucking weird. Hope it never happens again. Kind of scarred me a little bit for a while, but then I got over it. Alright, the last story, you guys know that I like fucking sleep paralysis. That's kind of an oxymoron to say someone likes sleep paralysis, right? But I do, because it fascinates me to no end, and recently I've been able to reenact it. Oh my god. Not on purpose, really, just like, I realized that if I sleep on my back, it's possible that I might trigger sleep paralysis that night, which is really cool. So guys, if you're having an issue with sleep paralysis or night terrors, sleeping on your back makes you much more likely to have it happen, so try not to sleep on your back. Anyway, I absolutely hate sleeping on my back, right? And I'll post the link in the description for the other video where I talked about this. But when I get my boobs done, I'm forced to sleep on my back for like a month. So I've kind of gotten in the habit of doing it, and like 2 nights ago or something, I got this crazy episode of sleep paralysis. So cool. All right, so I was laying in bed and I could not move. I had woken up, well, my brain had woken up, and I thought that I was in control of my body, but I was having this night terror where someone had broken into my apartment, and Jay and I were going to check it out. Jay went in front of me, right? And this was a very vivid dream. Like, usually you can tell, or at least I can tell. I don't dream lucidly anymore. I used to a lot, but I can always tell that I'm dreaming, especially when I'm in the dream. It's like very hazy. Things aren't happening that make sense. Things aren't happening in order. I'm having sex with people I simply just have not had sex with or something. But this, I could not tell was a dream. So Jay goes to the door first. I'm at the door behind him. And then I feel this guy push Jay on top of me, and I think he killed Jay because Jay's not moving and Jay's crushing me and I can't breathe, and I am having this terror that's it's a very like mild third person kind of terror. You're not feeling the adrenaline rush where your heart is pounding and you're clearly just like, more adrenaline, oh my god, but you're afraid. And for me, I don't really get afraid when I have sleep paralysis. I do, but it's a thing I can manage. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm apathetic most of the time. I don't know why it happens, but I don't have the experiences that most people have where they're like, I don't want to have a night terror. I don't want to have sleep paralysis. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And yeah, I've had friends who have night terrors every night, and it is very debilitating for them. But for me, it's more like an adventure. So Jay was laying on top of me. I think he's dead. I'm afraid, but I can't fucking move. And I'm trying my best to move, and I'm like, fucking move, Tara, fucking move. You have to slit this guy's throat. Come on, just fucking move. Oh my god, you have to call the ambulance for Jay. And I can't get up, and I can't do anything. And then I realize that I'm laying in bed like this and I'm not moving. And then I can finally move and the fear is gone. And I'm like, whoa, that was fucking intense. I literally thought that someone broke into our fucking apartment. Jay had died. I have to call the cops. I have to slit this guy's throat. Like, that's how it was for me at that moment. And usually when I have scary dreams or dreams that don't make any sense, I wake up scared. But in the dream, I'm not as scared because it's like irrational, like nothing's gonna happen to me type of thing. Very, very weird, very interesting. It's the first time that a sleep paralysis episode has been more than me just laying in bed not being able to move and feeling this like mild sense of fear that I'm just ignoring because it's not that big of a deal. And then I can move again. This time there was actually like a really realistic dream attached to it with one of my really realistic fears. If you guys want to know about the other times I've had sleep paralysis or any of my dreams, I'll try to find all of my dream/night/sleep paralysis videos and post them in the description. This is a very interesting topic to me. Dreams are very interesting, especially the psychology behind them, why they happen, what's going on in them, how you lucid dream. When I was younger, I've talked about this a lot, but when I was younger, I used to only have nightmares and they would all be lucid. So I made it kind of like a game where I would run away from whatever's trying to kill me, or I would jump into holes and right before I hit the end, I'd be like, wake up. And sometimes it wouldn't work the first time. And then I'd be like, wake up. And I'd be like, poof. And I'd be awake, no longer scared. It was awesome. That was a way that I could channel adrenaline and feel scared and be in all these like horror movie style situations without actually fearing for my life. It was really fun to me and I really miss being able to lucid dream. And I know that there are ways that you can stimulate it and make it happen again, but I don't know, I'm just kind of lazy on that point, and I also don't want to have a bunch of nightmares because I would always wake up so tired. Like, I spent the whole night actually running or something. Not that tired, obviously, but it felt akin to that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you did, because I will make more of these types of things. I do have a really interesting story, and if you guys want me to tell this story, please let me know, where I went downtown and we were almost jumped, and it was really scary, and my female friend, got hit in the face. It was really, really interesting story. It's one of the reasons why I don't like going downtown. I don't like ghetto areas, and I feel like most of Seattle is kind of ghetto, and I don't like going places at night. It's an interesting story. I want to tell it. So let me know if you want to hear it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out the 2 videos over here or over here, I don't remember which side, that pop up in the end screen. And also don't forget to turn on notifications and make sure you're subscribed. YouTube's having this weird issue lately where it's unsubscribing a bunch of people from accounts that they don't deem appropriate for YouTube. It's kind of like a passive-aggressive way to get us off of having a large following on the site. Hopefully they rectify that soon. Hopefully it's not as bad as I think it is. But yeah, following and then hitting that bell for notifications anytime I post anything, whether you're on mobile or on the desktop, you can do that and I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Bye. Sleep tight.